The people of Jericho, the only one justified by faith, by believing that the God of Israel was the true God and making him their God, was Rahab. And she did not stop being a harlot. This is interesting. Rahab the harlot. First, we have Rahab. Abraham was justified by faith in Genesis chapter 15, verse 6, for the salvation of his soul. Now 7 chapters later, in Genesis chapter 22, he was justified by works to be blessed. And that is what James chapter 2 addresses. Was not our father Abraham justified by works when he offered his son on the altar? When Abraham was sacrificing his son on the altar, Abraham was already saved. He was justified. He was justified. Now, Rahab the harlot. Wasn't Rahab the harlot also justified by works when she received the 12 spies sent by Joshua and led them down another way to save them from death? When Rahab the harlot protected the 12 spies sent by Joseph, Rahab the harlot was already saved and remained a harlot. That is why it says in 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 19, regarding the reconciliation of man with God through Christ, it states that God was in Christ reconciling the world to himself, not counting people's sins against them. Salvation is without God taking into account the sins of humans, that God was in Christ reconciling the world to himself, not counting men's sins against them. Salvation is without God counting human sins against them. And why? Because humans have already sinned, all of them, and it doesn't matter if from then on they stop sinning. It doesn't matter. They have already sinned once. How many did it cost? How many sins did it cost Adam in the Garden of Eden to be expelled from the garden? 1. How many sins did it cost Satan to be cast out of heaven? 1. The penalty of sin is death, a sin of evil thought. Isaiah chapter 14, verses 13, 14, and 15. There we have Satan. What did you say in your heart? I will ascend to the heights, to heaven where God is. You are cast down to Sheol. What did you say? A single sin of thought cost Satan his eternal removal. Just one bad action. Therefore, from now on, God is not counting sins against humans to be able to justify and save them, because we have all sinned. Does Mauricio want to say something?